Who's the greatest golfer? Has more majors than any other golfer?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jack Nicklaus.
I know the names, but I don't pay attention to their records.
That's great. But these are only hints. Thank you for helping.
So you have 3 of the greatest golfers ever.
Hey, we
Well,
got Arnold Palmer.
gave you a birthday card.
Those would be in the top 5 of all times. Wow, I'll have to go and rewrite, relook. This would be great.
Go through the paddle. You can have a spanking, birthday spanking. This will be perfect, right?
You can do that in the privacy of the
No, you do. Everybody
Oh.
goes like this.
This
You
is,
have to go
Arnie
through the spanking
was so
machine.
infatuated with
Yes,
it.
he
He was so involved, he sent 2 of them.
That's right.
So, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer.
We're gonna
Richard
put
Petty.
you through the spanking machine. You know what that is?
No, we'll save that for later.
No. No, Molly knows. Everybody's hands like this, and you have to crawl through, and then this is spank you.
Just a few more. We're almost done here.
What is it, like 70 total?
Well, we were hoping for 70.
I was gonna say, was that the number?
We were hoping.
We'll explain that in a minute.
Probably the to give the hints to everybody. Yes, the undoubtedly probably the 2 parts to him would be the second greatest magician ever, but probably one of the worst individuals ever. I hear nothing but bad things about this guy.
But he sent your birthday card.
He sent me a birthday card, and it's not Houdini because he couldn't make it. But
And we did actually send a card first, and it came back, and then all of a sudden it disappeared.
yeah, unbelievable. I was trying to come up with something.
We'll have another 20.
Oh,
Wow.
I've seen this guy in person, and
Oh, good.
he's Nancy's dad's favorite entertainer. He's from Lake Wobegon in Wisconsin,
Yep.
Minnesota.
Minnesota,
Oh, Minnesota.
and he's on Saturday night. And he's a storyteller. We saw him in Chicago, and we saw him in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Garrison Keeler. Passive white. Oh, wow. Picture, you're not bad. Nope. Good. Second funniest comedian on the Tonight Show. Host. Say that. Jay Leno. Very nice.
And he did send a card in there too, Don.
Okay. Sounds like a nice guy.
Oh, Carl, he knows you well.
That's what he said about you.
Says, yo, Don.
You got to see his happy face.
Yeah.
With the long chin.
Jay Leno walks into a bar, bartender says, "Hey, why the long face?"
But it was nice he wrote specifically to you.
That was last night. We had the joke around. That's Jay Leno's show. That's good. That's a cute card too. Okay. Oh, we were just talking about it. Jeopardy's favorite host, Alex Trebek.
And what did
Mark's
he?
favorite people.
What did he say?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What did he say?
Sorry.
Personal.
The answer is Donald. All the best, Alex Trebek.
And I left one in the box.
How-
Just, it's,
How cute is that?
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's a good. Those are all. This will be a fun collage to put together. Really fun. And last, is it last but not
yeah,
least?
it's
Okay.
just, I left one over in the box. So.
Okay, I'll get these back on how they don't like to wear them. Okay, I can read this, I think. Happy 70th birthday. Oh, and, Vanna White.
Yes.
And over here is Vanna's sister.
Vanna Fright. I was
Right,
Vanna Fright.
yes.
And Pat Sajak.
And Pat Sajak.
It's like,
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was looking for Pat's name, trying to get it. That's beyond beyond any expectation whatsoever. I just thought, I'll get some funny cards here. Never in my dream to think of that. That's just thank you so much, guys.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of
I
fun.
appreciate the effort. So how many did you send out altogether to
Well,
get
Mark
this
should
many?
tell you a little bit of the
All right.
story.
So the story starts with being on an airplane, sitting next to Newt Gingrich,
Your friend.
Okay.
your friend, and having the menu and saying, I have an idea for your birthday. So we talked about it. After that, I talked to everybody in the family about that idea. And Richard and Susan picked up on it, but I dropped it after that. And then late last year, I said, when I'm in San Diego this year, let me give it a shot. So I enlisted Carla, and the reason you got all the ones from Carla, I wrote most of the letters, but I signed them from Carla, and the letters I have here, all the letters I sent to all the celebrities, and I want to read a few of them.
Okay.
And I sent 70,
And I sent 40.
hoping for a response of 10%.
10%. Yes.
And we got
We got
just
close to about 50%.
50%.
Wow. I would have never thought that.
Because our brother's such a great guy.
Well, I just thank you guys. I mean, that's just
And that's how every letter starts. Go ahead, Mark. Read a few.
Well, the reason we got such a high response, partly,
Is
Yeah,
because
I was dying and I had cancer.
no,
so close.
They fit.
Because he
I nixed that idea in the beginning. But you actually are a very interesting person.
You are a fascinating person.
You are a fascinating person. I'm going to read a few letters, and I have plenty to read, but stop me when you feel like stopping, okay? The letter I sent consists of 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph and the last paragraph are exactly the same, so I'll read them once or twice, and you'll get that, and I will skip the rest of them, okay? Just at random. Dear Miss Lee, my brother Donald Melvin is a really good guy. In a couple of months, he will be celebrating his 70th birthday at a family reunion in Michigan. He tells me that you will be celebrating yours later this year. Okay. How I got all this information, I went on everybody's Wikipedia page.
Okay.
The last paragraph says, I know that if my brother were to receive a birthday greeting from you, it would bring him great joy. I'm sure that your life is very busy, so I have enclosed a birthday card in a pre-stamped envelope addressed to me, as I would hope to surprise my brother on his birthday. If there is any way that you could return it with even a few words, I know that it would mean the world to me, my family, and especially to my brother Don. Sincere thanks and warm regards, Carla Melvin, Don's sister.
Oh, okay.
So that's why, because I live in France, it'd be easier to send them
Right.
to her.
Right.
Right? Okay. So this is what I wrote to Brenda Lee. I am writing because you... I'm going to do this a little easier. You are his all-time favorite entertainer. His home office walls are filled with family photos, special memories, and yes, 2 photos of you, Miss Lee. My brother tells the story that the first time he heard you sing, I'm sorry, he thought that he was hearing the voice of an angel. He has been a huge fan ever since. Don is such an admirer. He has all your recordings, and the prize of his collection, he says, was the one that was recorded under Little Brenda Lee.
Yeah.
One of my brother's fondest memories is having been present for the Country Music Hall of Fame induction ceremonies when you were honored some years back.
That was Brenda Lee.
That was Brenda Lee. Dear Miss Bacall,
Lauren Bacall.
my brother Don is a really good guy. In a couple of months, he'll be celebrating his 70th birthday at a family reunion in Michigan. I am writing because you are his all-time favorite entertainer. His home office walls are filled with family photos, special memories, and yes, 2 photos of you, Miss Bacall. My brother greatly respects your body of work as an artist of many talents. He likes to tell the story that for his 13th birthday, my mother took him to the movies to see Designing Women. He says he fell in love with you that day. You were his first crush, Miss Bacall. Don is such an admirer. He says that he's seen all your films and several of your stage performances. On his coffee table at home, your book, By Myself and Then Some, sits right next to your first autobiography, By Myself. I know that he would receive blah, blah, blah. Okay. Dear Mr. Pesci.
Oh, Joe. Okay.
And yes, 2 photos of you, Mr. Pesci. He had followed your career when he has followed your career since he first saw you in Raging Bull. He says that your work in that film made him a fan for life. Don is such an admirer. As a retired barber who had acting aspirations that unfortunately didn't go beyond community theater, he identifies with you as he knows that you practiced barbering before you got your first acting job.
Jim, you ought to be turn the camera.
No, it's okay.
Get him.
Dear Mr. Ditka,
Oh, Mike.
I am writing because you are his all-time favorite athlete, coach, and sports commentator. Yes, 2 photos of you, Mr. Ditka. He's followed your football career since you were a rookie, and your rookie card is the pride of his collection. Don is such an admirer. He knows all your player and coaching stats by heart. Last year for his birthday, we gave him a case of Mike Ditka wines. He was thrilled, and he has kept all the empty bottles as souvenirs.
They're saving these letters. They got to.
Hopefully, some of our friends, they're going to be like, "What was weird letters?"
These
Yeah.
are the best we've ever received.
Dear Mr. Sheen, I'm writing because you are his all-time favorite actor and humanitarian. Of course, he's got 2 photos of you on the wall. He says that the first time he saw you perform in the film Badlands, and that day he became a lifelong fan. Don is such an admirer. He greatly respects your activism and political views as they closely mirror his own. I once heard him say, Martin Sheen is the voice I never had.
Wow. These are too good.
Hilarious.
Dear Mr. Humperdinck, I'm not going to read it. I just wanted to get a letter from Mr. Humperdinck. Dear Mr. Hanks.
Yes.
What was Humperdinck's first name?
Engelbert.
Engelbert, yeah.
Yes, 2 photos of you, Mr. Hanks. Don says that your film, Charlie Wilson's War, is his favorite film. Don is such...
It's very high on the list.
Okay.
You enjoy that.
Some of these are actually true.
Yeah.
A couple of them, a couple. Don is such an admirer. As a lifelong liberal Democrat, retired science professor, and a champion of environmental causes, he identifies with you, and once I heard him say that you could be the younger brother he never had.
That was a response. No wonder we got one from him.
Don credits your tireless advocacy in support of same-sex marriage as the inspiration for his own work on this important issue, which he continues today.
You do have time on your hands.
Oh, okay. Dear Mr. Banks.
Oh, Ernie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although we grew up in Michigan, it was always the Cubs that he followed, and no Cub player more than Mr. Cub.
Mr. Cup.
Several times in high school, he skipped school and hitchhiked to Wrigley Field to watch you play. He always made it home in time for dinner. Because they play day games. A home run ball off your bat is the prize of his baseball collection.
Oh.
All right, I'm going to skip a few of these. We won't go through them all.
Just
but
get better.
you can read them all of them later. I've got all of them. Yes, dear Miss McLean. Yes, 2 photos of you, Miss McLean. When he was 16, my brother saw your film The Apartment, and he became an instant lifelong fan. You were his first real crush, Miss McLean. Don is such an admirer. He claims to have seen all your films and several stage performances. He greatly respects your spiritual and metaphysical views and credits you as a positive influence on his own life. Your copy of his recent a copy of your recent book, I'm All Over That, sits proudly on his coffee table at home. Okay, here's a good one. Dear Mr. Boggs, I'm writing because you are his all-time favorite athlete. He had followed your baseball career since you were a rookie and is proud to this day that he was in the stands to witness your 3,000th Major League hit. Don is such an admirer. He identifies closely with you as someone superstitious. My brother only brushes his teeth at 10:10 a.m. and 10:10 p.m. Wears red only and always on Tuesdays and performs 57 jumping jacks and 57 sit-ups among other peculiar habits. We love him just the same.
Those are great. That's a book in itself.
It is.
Dear Mr. Sajak and Miss White, I am writing because you are his all-time favorite entertainers. Yes, 2 photos of you, Mr. Sajak and Miss White. He never misses an episode of Wheel of Fortune. He has tried out twice for the show and unfortunately was not successful. He certainly is bright enough, but I guess it was that nervous tick that kept him from being selected. Dear Mr.
Gain out of sympathy.
That's a really good one.
I know.
They said
Oh no,
a
this
Vanna
is
White
this one.
sentence
This
out
one.
of pity.
Okay.
Petty.
Oh, okay.
The sympathy.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Dear Mr. Petty, I'm writing to you because you are his all-time favorite NASCAR driver. Yes, 2 photos of you, Mr. Petty. As a teen, his passion was stock car racing, and he aspired to make it a career. An unfortunate crash ended those dreams. Don is such an admirer. He is so proud to have been present for 3 of your Daytona 500 victories, and unfortunately for your crash in 1988, which brought back horrible personal memories for him. Dear Mr. Caesar,
Oh, yeah.
he died the day before he got this letter. Or no, the day after he got the letter. So
The letter killed him.
the letter killed him.
He died laughing.
He died laughing. Our parents purchased our first television in 1952, and my brother tells the story that the first image he saw on it was of you, Mr. Caesar, on your show of shows. As an 8-year-old boy, he instantly became a lifelong fan. Don is such an admirer. He says that the inspiration for the changes in his destructive lifestyle came after reading your book. Where have I been? That book sits to this day on his living room's coffee table.
Imogene Cote was his question.
Dear Mr. Eastwood, I am writing because you are his all-time favorite actor and director. And yes, 2 photos of you, Mr. Wood. He claims to have seen all of your films at least twice.
Ooh.
Don is such an admirer. My brother shares your views on the wars our country has fought and are currently fighting. You have been a wonderful influence on his personal life in terms of the practice of transcendental meditation and a healthy diet. He often says, if it's good enough for Clint Eastwood, then it's good enough for me.
Yeah. And he did respond. So that got him.
Dear Mr. Williams, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
I'm writing because you are his all-time favorite actor and comedian. My brother says that he first saw you in San Francisco doing stand-up comedy in the 70s. He's been a huge fan ever since. Don is such an admirer. Your work with St. Jude's Research Hospital was an inspiration for him to join the organization where he is active to this day. I think he identifies with you as many of his personal life challenges closely mirror some of your own. Dear Mr. Copperfield, he says that he first met you in Honolulu at the Pagoda Hotel back in the 70s and became an instant fan. Don is such an admirer. He himself is an amateur illusionist and magician and has attended your live performances countless times. He says that after the birth of his children, the greatest thrill of his life was being invited into your Las Vegas private museum twice. Dear Mrs. Black.
Oh,
Shirley Temple.
Yeah.
Shirley Temple.
and she died.
She died also of the day after.
Yeah.
The day after she would have received the letter. So I was really hoping that we would get a letter that was signed, Don, happy birthday, Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. Off the edge of the.
All right, we're getting there. Dear Mr. Howe, all-time favorite athlete. We are from Saginaw, Michigan, and I'll always remember how elated Don was as a child after returning home on the Greyhound bus from a Red Wings game in which you played. Don is such an admirer. You were his childhood hero. My brother was an accomplished skater in his teen years and twice tried out for the Detroit Junior Red Wings. He didn't make the team, but that did not dampen his lifelong love of the sport.
What you should have wrote there is that, and Don repeats your most famous saying, let's get the puck out of here.
Okay. Dear Mr. Mickelson, two photos of you, Mr. Mickelson. Don is such an admirer. He says that one of the greatest thrills of his life was being present on the 18th hole at Augusta in 2010 and later watching you put on the green jacket for the third time. He was also present at Winged Foot in 2006 and shared your last round agony. He is convinced that this is your year to win the U.S. Open. He's never won the U.S. Open.
P.S. Sorry about your recent crash.
Yes, P.S. If you're in jail when you receive this, please respond.
If not, do you have any advice?
Dear Mr. Bennett, two photos of you, Mr. Bennett. He has a huge collection of your music. He loves to tell the story of how he saved his paper route money to buy his first album, Your Recording of Long Ago and Far Away. The album cover is now framed and hangs on the wall of his den. Don is such an admirer not only of your music but your paintings as well. He has often said that if he wins the lottery, the first thing he will do is buy one of your paintings. I was really hoping he'd send
Send a penny.
Yeah.
How can they not respond, with these, great letters?
Mr. Chase, Chevy Chase. Don says that it was your performances on the National Lampoon Radio Hour back in the 70s that kept him sane as he worked a mind-numbing job. His words. You worked. He has been a huge fan ever since. He has seen all your films and thinks that you're the funniest man on earth. I will never forget the day that I heard of your criticism of George Bush at a Kennedy Center event. He jumped to his feet and shouted, "Now there's the bravest man in the world." Okay.
So we have a list for you also of the people who didn't send, but we're expecting that some more will arrive. Because on the website it said it could take 6 months for them to respond, so they may trickle in.
Turning 71 next year.
Yeah. Dear Miss Parton, Don says that he has all your music and thinks that you're a terrific actor as well. Don is such an admirer. For his 60th birthday, we gave him tickets to your show, Hello, I'm Dolly, at the Fox Theater in Detroit. He still says that it was the best musical event he's ever enjoyed. We have lost. They were sent.
Oh, I'll enjoy going through this many, many times.
Yes, we think you will.
I will. I definitely will.
And we know the other enjoyment is going to be going through this with your friends.
Your buddies.
Yes.
With
Oh,
Chuck
oh,
and Kenny.
Chuck
and
Yeah.
Ken will get just a big bang out
And
of
these were all the lists of potential people to send to, and the hardest part was getting a good address.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We always have our candles on
This is something for the kids and I because we thought we'd have to go a whole weekend without a spice cake. So we're saying happy birthday to him.
Good luck in lighting this.
Yeah.
It won't
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to